invite Luke Leighton of the Pirate Party to address us.
Thank you. My name is Luke Leighton. I'm a free software developer. And what that means is that I have a level of integrity above focusing on things that I think are important to me. Now, I normally am happy in my little green armchair, and the issues, as I've watched these things happening, I've been so concerned that I've got out my armchair to speak about my concerns. Now, the Pirate Party is a very new party. It's only been in existence in, for example, Sweden in the past 3 years, and the United Kingdom for 1. And effectively, a short summary of what we're about is human rights for a digital age. We recognise that people do not necessarily understand technology, but the people in our party do. So we're raising issues that we believe are important: freedom of speech, right to privacy, and other matters. And one of the things that we're lucky to be able to do is, because our manifesto is very short, I am free to represent you and your wishes and your concerns, free of party whips. All right? So I feel that that's very important. So I will bring to you a level of integrity and honesty. And I promise that what I will do, when I say something that I will do it, I will do it for you. If I cannot do it, I will say so. All right? And thank you. And I'll leave the rest for later. Thank you very much.
And now Roger Meekins of UKIP.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I sound angry, it's because I am angry. Thank you for being here. I've got 10 points that I would like to make that set out my philosophy and that of UKIP. Here they come. Patriotism. This is the emotional expression of nationhood. Nationhood is endemic to human beings and is where people come together who have a common ancestry and occupy an identifiable territory, and where they govern themselves without reference to an outside authority. This is the natural way that human beings behave. Sovereignty. This is the exercise or the right to exercise unfettered power over a dominion or a nation, and is often invested in the person of a head of state. Until a few months ago, this was our Queen. In our case, it has been the monarch for as long as we've been a nation, but not anymore. Since the Lisbon Treaty came into force on the 1st of December 2009, sovereignty was effectively transferred to the European Union, and for all I know is now vested in the person of Mr. Van Rompuy, God help us. The end of nations. The European Union is determined to phase out the nation state. They want the European superstate that is made up of regions, and for all forms of nationhood to be gradually suppressed. England will become 9 regions, and England as a legal entity will cease to exist. Freedom. Freedom is one of those rare qualities which you can only detect by its absence. You cannot smell it, taste it, or detect it by any other sensation, but you sure as hell know when you do not have it. We take freedom for granted and assume that it is, like the air we breathe, the natural state and will always be there. We forget that for most parts of the world and for most of history, nations have not had freedom in the way we enjoy it. Magna Carta. One of the bulwarks of our freedom were the rights given to us in Magna Carta. In particular, trial by jury, habeas corpus, freedom from arbitrary arrest, and the presumption of innocence. This is the legal system that we have exported around the world. I'll finish it later.
And now Mike Simpson of the Liberal Democrat Party.
Thank you very much, Anne. And I do want to thank Alistair and the Vineyard Church for hosting us here. Fabulous building. I've actually been to your services on several occasions. You may not have noticed. I've been incognito, not here, but at the school venue. I'm not going to use this 2 minutes to give a sort of political speech, really, because some of you know me, but many of you don't know me, so I thought I would tell you a bit about myself. Why on earth am I involved in politics? It's got such a bad name, isn't it? I got involved in politics in the 1980s when I was doing youth work. I helped out a young lad with some problems, and then a few weeks later I was sat in the back garden of what I didn't know was the president of the local Liberals, as they were at the time, and with my fiancée, and he said to me, "Have you ever thought of standing for the council, Mike?" I wasn't even a member of the Liberals at the time, but because I'd managed to help his son and so on, that's how it started, that's how I got involved. And I think most politicians get involved because they want to make a difference for ordinary people's lives. That's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, when my marriage broke up, I ended up looking after my twin children on my own, and as a result I had to give up politics. But what really got me re-energised and re-involved in politics was the Iraq War. We will have different views, I know, in this room about that, but I felt incensed that we were taken to war and young men and women's lives were put at risk on the back of a pack of lies. And as a result of that, I felt I had to do something. I was one of those 1 or 2 million people who went on that march. But unlike many people who thought, well, it changed nothing, I'm having nothing to do with politics anymore, I thought, I've got to do something, I've got to get re-involved. So that's why I got re-involved. I was happy enough, fortunate enough, to be selected as the candidate for the Liberal Democrats here. And I think over the last year I've proved how hard-working I've been with things like the Water Meadows campaign in Farnham and the Quayside in Godalming and so on, and the different campaigns I've taken up, like Badshot Lee and the plans to double the size of that village, for example. So all those issues, I hope, have given you some understanding of how much time and commitment and passion I will put into this if you were to elect me. But I don't want to make any party political comments in these 2 minutes because you've got plenty of opportunity to ask me about party political matters. That's just a snapshot about me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, all 5 of you, for those introductory comments, and I know you all have much more that you would like to say, and I hope the questions this evening will give you opportunity to do that. Questions have been pouring in, and I just say at this point that if your question or a version of it there isn't time to have it answered this evening, all the candidates are very happy and would be very pleased if you would email the questions to them at any stage after the meeting, and you will receive a response, I'm promising on your behalves, but I know that they're very keen to ensure that everybody has a chance to have the questions that are important to them answered this evening.